Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day it is for you. This is The Den, episode number 18, our post game coverage of the Bears' victory over the Jaguars. My name is Steve, aka Bronx, and I'm joined by.
Matt, aka Nemo, episode 18. We're back. Post Bears dub. I won't lie. Did not watch a single second of the game. I expected us to win, dude. It was at 8 a.m. I was not waking up for that shit. Sorry, guys. 8 a.m. on
Yeah,
a Sunday. A lot of crazy things happen on Saturday nights. I had a few Mountain Dews that night, so it got a little crazy. So wasn't able to wake up in time to see it, unfortunately. But obviously I saw highlights, recaps, whatever.
yeah. We're bouncing back. When I was traveling, I traveled to Rome and then to London to watch this game. The time difference really caught us off guard as far as recording the podcast and missing an episode.
Nah, it
Whatever
was
it is,
spotty cellular service, bro. I swear to God, the one
it
thing
was
I
bad.
text, the one thing I text you about, like we should record, doesn't fucking send. But everything else I
Mhm.
send the whole week gets sent to you. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
was.
said something to you, and then I was waiting for you to send back. It doesn't really matter that much.
We were. Yes. Um. I went from like 5G in some spots to 3G, and I'm just like 3G. I don't even think my phone can operate in 3G. Like it was. It was interesting. I had a good time though. Like Rome was super cool. We got to go to Pompeii, which is really super. If you ever get a chance, go check out Pompeii. It's quite the walk. We did like a guided tour, but it's quite the hike if you are planning to go.
Mhm.
We did Pompeii. We went to. We did obviously all the stuff in Rome, Colosseum, Pantheon, all that good stuff. Went to the Vatican City, and I had been there before. I'd been to Rome, um, but I never got to go underneath the Vatican where they have all like the old popes' tombs and
Books and
stuff.
shit. Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of cool. Um, but yeah, from Rome to London. London, we didn't really do much. I think we just walked around because the last time we were in London, we were in London for a week, and we basically got to see everything. The last time we were out there, I my Facebook page was blowing up because I was a bit of a celebrity. Apparently, I was interviewed by CHGO's podcast, which is obviously the one that does um, the 85, which is Cole Komet's podcast, but they do their own about the Bears. So Carm from CHGO asked me what the final score of the game was going to be, which is kind of cool. So people were like tagging me in it and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't actually think it was going to show up. But other than that, the trip was really good. 5 years ago when we went to London, the Bears did not come out victorious, and it was a Raiders home game. Uh, it was insane. The amount of Bears fans there was insane.
So I
Insane.
gotta ask, what do you think the ratio is? Right, they're trying to like expand football around the globe or whatever. What do
Mhm.
you think the actual ratio is of fans from the U.S. that just go there like you did to see the game, and like actual people from London or the UK, or you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I don't know what it is, but my guess would be like they oversell how much how many people are interested. It's just kind of like I don't know. Like, did you think it was a more so tourists than locals, or by locals I just mean like non-Americans, I guess.
No, I would say the split would probably be like 65, 35, and 65 being Europeans.
Okay.
Um, because there was a lot of European fans, but there was a lot of like German fans. Like there was a literally like a whole section. And by section I mean probably like 400 people,
Yeah.
all from like the German Bears fan club,
Hmm.
which
Well,
was
yeah, because they're having a game in
awesome.
Germany this year,
They are having one.
which it's fucking horrendous. It's the Panthers versus the Jets or the Giants.
I was hoping that it was going to be the Bears because that would have been
Just
an awesome trip.
brutal. Just
That would have been
brutal.
an awesome trip. But yeah, the Germans were out. There was my whole row besides us, um, and it's weird how they number their seats and their sections, but whatever. Our whole row, which was probably like 30 seats in our row,
Yeah.
and besides us four, five, the rest were all English, um, from London, and then below us was all from London too.
How's
Um,
how's the cuisine out there in the
so
UK?
I will tell you, 5 years ago when I went, I don't know if it was because of where we were staying, it was terrible. Like the food choices were awful. But where we stayed this time, we stayed in Bankside, which was obviously along the bank of the, what is it, the Thames River.
Thames. I
Um,
think, I don't know.
whatever that river. The food choices were incredible this time around. Like
Yeah.
I've probably had the best Chinese food I've ever had out there, and it was out
Oh, we were
very.
just talking about this, about how, like, UK Chinese food specifically is just I saw a video of these people that were like, "Oh, we got a Chinese," and they had, like, fucking mozzarella sticks
Mm-mm.
and, like, fries, and I'm like, "Okay, bro, like, that's real
No,
authentic."
no. It was not one of those. It was, the name of the place was Glass Garden. I'll never forget it. I don't. I'm not a huge Chinese fan, and when I am, like, it's like usually like sweet and sour chicken. But this
Yeah.
place had like roasted duck, and I'd never eaten duck before, so I was like, all right, I'll try it. It was fantastic.
Did
Like, it
you,
was incredible.
get anything, like, from home? You see what they got at McDonald's or something in the UK, see
Okay,
how that's any
fu-
different?
funny story. I did not have it in the UK. I'm a little upset I didn't, but I did have McDonald's and Burger King
In
in
Italy?
Rome.
No
hmm
way. What was that
So,
like? They probably like
so
pasta or some shit. I'm not
they did
Italian,
not have.
sorry if
They
that's
did not have
racist, but
the last time I went to Rome when I was 18. So that was almost 20 years ago. They did have pasta in McDonald's. This time they did not. I only ate breakfast.
mhm,
Um, but it was awesome. Like, they had donuts and they had like
yeah.
croissants, and I had the best McFlurry I ever had. I don't know
Bro,
what the name of
breakfast
it was.
McFlurry is fucking diabolical. You need to be
I don't
stopped.
know. Well, they had a pistachio flavored one. I did not try that one. I
It's that
forgot what the name of
gelato
it.
out there, bro.
I forgot what it was called, but it reminded me of like Ferrero Rocher all over this. It was the best McFlurry I've ever had. Burger King, by far the best Whopper I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Yeah.
The only thing, obviously, that's worse is the fries. The fries were terrible in Rome, and
Were they, like, different?
they're yes, they're like real potatoes.
Like,
Like,
okay.
they're not flavorful. Um,
Mm. Yeah,
but they serve.
I had the chicken Big Mac while he was gone.
I'm not a fan.
It's pretty alright. I didn't think it This is the thing, from all the reviews I saw, we're kinda digressing insanely
Oh,
here,
huge, but who cares?
the from the reviews I saw, it was supposed to be taste like 2 chicken nuggets, like a chicken nugget sandwich, and it really didn't. Like,
No, it's two
they're supposed
McChickens.
but it's not. The McChicken patty doesn't I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think it was bad by any means, but I
I
wouldn't
would
like
never eat it again.
when it goes away, like, I might have it, like, a few more times in my life if
Mhm.
they kept it on the menu, but I'm not gonna be one of the people that are like, "Bring it back when it goes away." It's gonna be the same
Like
shit with the McRib, the same shit with the McRib
the
last time.
McRib.
Yeah, my
No,
fucking ass.
I don't know about that. The McRib's got a cult following.
No, the McRib's never gonna go away for good, they just do
It's
that shit.
terrible. I can't stand it.
I have
That's
no opinion, I think it's well, I have an opinion, I'm very moderate about it. I don't think it's bad. I get it every time they come back with it just because they're coming back with it.
moving on, our game recap. The Bears dominate in London with a score of 35-16. Breaking down the game as a whole, it was a rough start for the Bears in the first quarter. They punted twice. Jacksonville, on one of their drives, drove 67 yards, and if it wasn't for a dropped catch in the end zone, uh, they would have scored a touchdown. But otherwise, they settled for a field goal. But then they finally figured it out. They got it going. They got it rolling in the second quarter. Caleb throwing for 2 touchdowns to Cole Kmet. We got to see the home run celebration twice in the second quarter. but also the only blemish on the day for Caleb was the INT on the deep ball to
Mhm.
DJ Moore. I don't know if that was just like he didn't see the safety or he thought maybe he could out throw the safety, but he just sort of sailed it up there and the safety came down with it right in front of DJ. But anyways, they end the half up 14-3. And then in the second half, the Bears just continued to dominate. The defense ended up taking the ball away twice, a forced fumble by TJ Edwards, and an interception by Joshua Blackwell, filling in for the injured Kyler Gordon. Comes away with a nice little INT, and then Caleb finds Keenan Allen for 2 touchdowns in the second half, and that's your 35 points right there. Well,
Yep,
I'm
yep.
missing a touchdown and a rushing touchdown by Swift. That's your 35 points.
Damn.
Um, that's the game summary as a whole. Moving on, our player spotlights. Our offensive standouts for the game against the Jaguars. Um, our quarterback, Caleb. In this game, we see him use his legs quite a bit more. He has 4 carries for 56 yards. He goes 23 of 29 for 226, 4 touchdowns, 1 INT, sacked 3 times. Um, and yeah, I mean, Cole mentioned on his podcast, and I thought it was actually a really, really good listen to he was breaking down Caleb's play a little bit. And he basically said that the throws that he's making now can translate to um especially in that game, will translate to other games. Meaning like the timing of the routes, um, just getting the ball out of his hand quickly, hitting the slants. He said like tight window throws are tight window throws, no matter who's playing
Yeah.
defense on the other side.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I just thought that was an awesome mention because people are going to talk about his incredible arm on the run. Um, his people still talking about his deep balls having issues, but I don't know. He threw the ball, I think, over 30 yards once or twice in that game, and one was to Keenan, and one was to Cole. And that throw to Cole, the first one was probably one of the easiest throws he'll make for a touchdown in his career.
Mhm.
I mean, they
Yeah.
faked the screen one way, faked the screen the other way, and Cole's running wide open down the middle of the field. Um, He's named the FedEx Air and Ground Player of the Week. And once again, we see continued growth out of Caleb. His ratings, his QB, his quarterback rating, by week 1, 55.7, week 2, 51, week 3, 80.8, week 4, 106.6, and last week, well, 2 weeks ago now,
Yeah.
126.2. And then obviously you see with his higher rating, his yards per attempt are going up. Week 1, a measly 3.21. Now, mind you, people are not giving enough credit to that Titans defense. That Titans defense right now is ranked number 1 in the league.
Mhm.
Just throwing it out there. Before the season started, if you would have told me that Titans were going to have the number 1 defense, I would have thought you were crazy. But statistically, if it's not for Will Levis throwing away games for them, they might actually be a winning might have a winning record. He threw it away against us, and then a few of the other opponents that they
Mhm.
played.
Yeah.
He's played horrible, but that's the number 1 rated defense in the league, and that's Caleb's opening week. So people are like, "Oh, well, he's played nothing but bad defenses." No, he played bad because it's his first NFL start, and it's against statistically the best defense in the league. So I kind of just washed that one away. But you see
Yeah.
his yards per attempt, 3.21 against Tennessee. Then it goes up 4.7, 6.98, dips a little bit, 6.8, and then obviously against Jacksonville, 10.48. You want to talk a little bit about the running backs?
Yeah, just this week, Swift had another week where he's shown he's picking it up a little bit. 17 carries for 91 yards. Just about 5 yards per carry, give or take some stupid ass decimal places, and 1 touchdown for Roshan Johnson. We've kind of seen him utilized exactly as you mostly predicted it. I'm gonna say we predicted it because um, it's our podcast. But yeah, just in these short situations, power back, and this really makes you wonder. I was going to bring this up later, but I guess I'm going to kind of bring it up now. Trade deadlines, right? Do we see Khalil Herbert stay in this running back room after
Nope.
the trade deadline? I don't think so either, because it's a
Nope.
matter of he's too similar to Swift to the point where as long as Swift is doing good, Roshan Johnson's that power back we need. We don't need another, shifty back like Swift. So I would agree. I think Khalil Herbert's gone. I also know Valus Jones is gone, but that's a no fucking brainer. If anyone will even take him.
I doubt
Um,
it. But also Travis Homer is coming back. Um, Funny story. I met Travis Homer's mom in London. Wonderful lady. We were just in it was raining, so we had stopped in this little shop next to what the hell is the name of that? Where all the kings and queens are
Buckingham
buried.
Palace. Oh.
No, um,
I was like, bro, I don't know.
the something. But anyways, we stopped in a little shop there, and we had all our Bears gear on. And she actually came up to us, and she was like, do are there a lot of Bears fans out here? And we're like, yeah, there's a lot. And she's like, oh, well, my son plays for the Bears. Funny story, he didn't make the trip, but his family did because
They like
he
bought
broke
the
his
tickets in
hand.
advance or something.
Right. So, and then the other thing was they were like, well, what if he gets cut? And they're like, well, we bought the tickets. We're coming to London anyways.
You fucking
So,
asked them that?
no, she said that.
Oh, I was like, bruh.
No, I would never ask that. She's
I was
like,
like, you
we
can't
were kind of
fucking
worried what
say
happens if
that.
he gets
Yeah.
cut. His career wasn't, it's not certain, especially being a special teamer and the fourth
Yeah.
back with Velis at the time taking carries. But
Yeah.
he's going to be coming back healthy. So, yeah, I don't see a spot for Khalil anymore. And if we can get a
Mhm.
fourth, I'd say you snatch that.
No, I would
Um,
agree.
yeah. Receivers, Cole Kmet goes 5 catches for 70 yards on 5 targets with 2 touchdowns. Our boy Keenan Allen, 5 catches for 41 yards on 5 targets with 2 touchdowns. Adunze,
Uh,
2 for 40 on 2 targets. Swift, 4 catches for 28 yards. Johnson, 2 for 25. And DJ Moore, 4 for 20 yards on 5 targets. A little low for DJ Moore as far as yards are concerned, but the 5 targets are just as many as Cole, just as many as Keenan. Um, so I'm not too upset. I had him as my player to watch, and if you're following us on TikTok, that's why I laid that out.
mhm.
Um, but moving forward, I think DJ is going to continue to get his targets.
I don't know. I think it's just what we've been saying since the beginning of the year. It's a matter where it's like it sucks for fantasy managers like myself who have DJ Moore, but you got to be honest that this wide receiver room is so stacked to the point where, sure, Cole Kmet's having a good game, but if you take away the touchdowns, right, which obviously that's a big component of a good game, but when you're looking at yardage, right, nobody's getting obviously 70 yards is a lot, but you know what I mean? It's a lot more spread out than you think when you really look at it. And it's a matter of where we can get upset because a player that we think should be doing good isn't doing good. They're winning games. And, I don't think ego is going to be an issue for anyone in this wide receiver room. And as long as that doesn't happen, I could give a shit if the guy who's got 20 yards on 5 targets is DJ Moore or it's the last wide receiver we have in the damn room. It doesn't really matter to me, and it probably doesn't matter to them as long as they're winning games. So
Well, and the funny thing is he's actually still leading the team in receiving yards.
yeah,
So he's got uh, albeit by like 30 yards over Cole Kmet, but he's leading the team with 314 yards. And then we have three wide receivers in the 200s. So we
No.
have Kmet, Adunze, and Swift. Um, all
After
in the
that,
200.
when we played the Rams, he went fucking insane.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good to see that he's spreading the ball around everywhere. Um, which is kind of funny though because DJ does lead the team in targets, and so it's not for lack of trying. Um, so anyways, moving on to defensive side of the ball, our defensive heroes. Look, our depth that against Jacksonville was tested. Obviously, Tyreek Stevenson was out for the game, and then Kyler Gordon got hurt. I want to say in the third quarter with an hamstring injury. It did not look good. Literally, he got hurt right in front of where we were sitting, and he's getting blocked, and he just goes down. And I thought at first it was like a back injury because of the
Mhm.
way he got up and was walking. Come to find out, it was just a hamstring injury. So hopefully he bounces back with the bye and with enough rest. I don't see him. Honestly, I don't think he'll play this week. But um, our depth was tested. Lawrence could have thrown for 4 touchdowns if two of them aren't dropped in the end zone. And if you go back and watch the highlights, like clear as day, just drops.
Yeah.
One of them, Elijah Hicks makes a semi decent play, kind of punches it out. But the first one, Gabe Davis, it literally it like hit him in the shoulder. He like didn't use his hands. It was weird. It was a good toss, and it just bounced off his chest. And that was when they kicked the field goal in the first quarter.
Mhm.
Um, but they were tested. They were tested often and early. Like the very first drive, I think he threw at Jalen Jones probably three times.
Uh-huh.
Um, and Elijah Hicks, and then obviously Joshua Blackwell. They all played key roles. Jalen Jones led the team in tackles with 10, which obviously means he was tested a lot. So at least he made the tackles if they
Mhm.
did secure the ball.
Yeah.
Um, Elijah Hicks, I thought played pretty well. I thought they were going to go with Jonathan Owens to fill in for Brisker, but they went with Hicks, and then obviously Blackwell comes in and filling in for Kyler Gordon intercepts a Lawrence pass. But the key turnovers, TJ Edwards forced a fumble, which led to the Keenan Allen touchdown. And then obviously we just mentioned Joshua Blackwell filling in for Kyler Gordon, intercepts the Lawrence pass, which results in the DeAndre Swift touchdown run. Um, so yeah, our depth was tested, and they showed that they can hang. That we have depth, especially on the defensive side of ball. Um, Coaching strategy, our next segment. Offensive. I thought it was a very well called game by
Waldron.
Waldron. Aside from the first quarter, we saw a couple design Caleb runs thrown into the mix, which I thought was good just to keep Jacksonville guessing, and once
Mhm.
again the run game was moving the ball and clicking, and Caleb was comfortable and he looked poised. Obviously he was if he delivers his best completion percentage of the year at 79%. um so yeah, overall I thought it was an awesome called game by Shane Waldron, and hopefully that continues moving into the next week. Defensively, we got to Trevor Lawrence 3 times and forced 2 turnovers, a fumble, and an INT. This is 12 straight games the defense has allowed 21 points or less, and the sixth straight game that the Bears have forced a turnover. Both of those recipes for wins, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're scoring less than 3 touchdowns in a game, you expect this offense with the weapons that we have to at least score 21 points a game. And if we're turning the ball over like we saw in the Jags game, uh, we produce touchdowns out of it. Keenan Allen and DeAndre Swift score touchdowns after the turnovers. But yeah, overall, just a great game, both sides of the ball. I mean, it is the NFL, and as we saw in the first quarter, Jacksonville, aside from a few mental mistakes, is not that bad of a team. Um, not I think not as bad as their record shows. I think they're plagued with drop balls. They're plagued with like defense. I think it was a linebacker or safety literally called the defense out and says we need to start playing for each other.
Yeah.
Like we're all out here sacrificing our body. We can't take plays off. Blah blah blah. And obviously that turns around for them because they kicked the shit out of whoever they played this week in London again. Um, who did they play in London?
Who?
Jaguars.
This weekend? They already played
Yeah,
them?
yeah, they played
Are
this
you mean
past our bye week.
yeah, yeah. Austin, who the Jaguars play this weekend? Who the Jaguars play this weekend?
Oh, the
No.
Patriots. Thanks,
Yeah,
Dom.
I was gonna. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he's always up and watching the games.
Yeah. Uh, they're not that bad of a team. So to see that our offense played well, our defense continues to dominate
Not this week. Last week.
was was awesome.
Mm.
Moving on, the implications of this win. What does this victory mean for the season, Matthew?
Um, like we've said this whole time, the Bears got to be early and often with these wins, right?
Hmm.
Front half of the year's going to be a struggle, or excuse me, easy. Back half is going to be a real struggle, and
Yep.
I'm going to be honest, right? No, I mean we have the best division in the NFL, and I'm not afraid to come out and say it that there's a 50-50 chance that the Bears are the worst team in this division. Now it doesn't mean that they're
Hmm.
bad, but right now, Minnesota and Detroit obviously clear us, and then it's just a difference between us and Green Bay. I think Green Bay has had some better games, like closer games against better opponents, right? What, like a 3-4 point game against the Eagles in the first week. So really
And the
all
Eagles,
this.
I think the Eagles are overrated.
Oh, agree, but I mean, you gotta admit it's still a decent team. They're not bad. They have a
They
Saquon
beat
Barkley.
Houston.
They have a
No,
Saquon Barkley.
they
Well,
they
well,
beat
what's his face?
Houston by a field goal.
But what's his face went like? He had a horrific game. C.J. Stroud. He had like under 100 passing yards.
Well, they handed the ball off like 80 something percent of the time.
But it was still insane. I'm looking
Yeah.
right now because I don't even care. Yeah, 10 for 21, 86 yards, but whatever. Yeah, basically all this win means is we just got to keep stacking, right? Because
Hmm. Hmm.
once we get to those divisional games, I think um like we were saying, like you were kind of saying about Tennessee, where their defense is better than people give them credit for. I think the Vikings are a little bit better than people give them credit for now. Are they still a very good team? Absolutely. But their loss to the Lions shows that it is not, they brought them back to reality, right? Not that it was a bad game by the Vikings at all, but they can be beat by top tier teams. So I mean, I don't really know what your
Yeah.
thoughts are, but as
Both
usual,
games,
two,
both games decided by a field goal.
yeah, you know, I apologize if you can hear the cars. Like we said, too early to talk about playoffs. Really good division. All this means for the Bears season is we need to stack, especially after that costly loss to the Colts. That in my opinion shouldn't have happened. I think we're better than
Yeah.
that team. We should have
Yeah.
won. I mean, would have been a way better position right now. Right now, we would be in third in the division because we'd technically be half a game back, right? But because we had the bye week, or no,
Yeah.
everyone in our division has had a bye week except Green Bay. I'm almost positive. I'm almost positive. You know how I know? We're 4-2. Vikings are 5-1. Lions are 5-1. Packers are 5-2.
Fair enough.
And I know I'll tell you this. I don't know about the Vikings, but I'm positive the Lions bye week was week 5. Was last week. I know it because I have um Sam Laporta and David Montgomery on my team for fantasy.
Oh, how
So
is that fumble?
oh, whatever. I won by like 110 or 100. I won by like 70 points, like 120 to like fucking 60 or something. Like
Oh,
wasn't like
nice. All right. So, what this victory means to me, it has shown me that aside from the Colts game, we have beaten the teams that we're supposed to beat. And on the top of that, back-to-back games where the team has put up at least 30 points and an offense that's trending in the right direction. Caleb is continuing to grow and looking more and more comfortable with this offense. And obviously, the defense just continues to take the ball away. We continue to hold teams to under 21 points. That's insane to me. 12 straight games that we've held teams under 21 points. Impact on the playoffs, you touched on in a little bit. Once again, I feel like it's too early to talk about the playoffs, but this is our path to the playoffs. We have to beat the teams we're supposed to beat early in the season. And then once we get in our division, um, into the division part of our schedule. It's going to be tough to make the playoffs, but it's not going to be impossible. Like you said, we have the best division in the NFL with three teams with at least 4 wins. And well, now that number has changed. And then at the time of writing this, three teams with at least 4 wins, and the one team, Minnesota, had five. Um, so yeah, I mean the best division in football. We're gonna have to stack these wins early in the season just to keep us in the race.
We'll keep
And
our
to
head
be
above
honest,
water.
unless we sweep a couple of these teams in our division, we're gonna be battling for a wild card spot.
I'll say this: I'd be happy with a sweep and a split. Right? I think if we can get a sweep and a split, or two splits, we might be okay. I think the
Mhm.
only team we're even capable of even beginning to think about a split is Green Bay. Personally, I still believe it's going to be whoever's home is winning. Right? Bears are winning at Soldier Field. Packers are winning at Lambeau. But as more of these weaknesses show, we'll see. Who's weaker, the Lions or the Vikings, and
Mhm.
whichever one turns out to be stronger, it boils down to, like, I don't think we're going to beat them. I don't think we're going to beat the Lions on Thanksgiving. Right? We're in Detroit. We'll see though. I don't know. But if we can get either two splits and get swept once, or by some immaculate a sweep on the Packers and then a split with either the Lions or the Vikings, we're looking really good. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean we've always played the Lions well. Um,
yeah,
and we've gotten. I mean, in the two games that Jared Goff played against us last year, he threw 6 interceptions. So I don't know if
yeah,
that's flus or if that's just the
he's
defense
been
making
playing
plays.
crazy right
But he
now.
and but even when he was facing, even when he was going in playing it last year, coming up to us, he was playing lights out,
Mhm.
and we took the ball away
Yeah,
from him
four
6 times.
interceptions.
So we'll see. Moving on, our players to watch. I don't remember who your offensive one was, but I'm
Uh,
just gonna go off of mine.
well, we didn't have a preseason,
You,
did we? Right? Well, because
you
I'm
didn't you
I'm
didn't
just
have a
gonna
PC
I'm,
job.
I'm just gonna carry mine over from the week before.
Yeah, I know it was Tremaine Edmonds. I don't know who your offensive one was.
Keenan Allen was my offensive guy.
Oh, well, W for Keenan Allen
Yeah,
because he had an incredible game.
yeah.
Um, my player to watch was DJ Moore on the offensive side of the ball, and he was coming off of a huge game against the Panthers. I expected him to continue to build that chemistry with Caleb, but he just had 4 catches for 20 yards. Uh, like we had talked about, he's still leading the team in receiving. He's still leading the team in targets. So if we can continue to get him the ball, good things are going to happen. Defensively, I had Jalen Jones, who filled in for the injured Tyreek Stevenson. Look, he led the team in tackles with 10. He was tested early and often, but he held his own. Like he wasn't giving up huge plays. Like they were little 4 yard outs or 3 yard slants that were thrown right in front of him. Uh, I think Jalen Johnson got the ball thrown at him twice last week, or 2 weeks ago, whatever, which is kind of insane that they avoided Jalen Johnson that much. But I get why you would, especially with Jalen Jones. I mean, but he's a vet. He's played in the scheme last year when Tyreek went down. So we'll see if Tyreek's healthy enough to play this week. If not, I'm not too worried about it, just because of Jalen Jones stepping in and playing as well as he did. You want to talk about? Yeah, you had Keenan Allen.
Yeah, Tremaine Edmonds, I'm just kind of gonna skip over this. I wouldn't have picked him for this week.
Mhm.
Seven
Nice.
seven tackles, two solo tackles.
Mm.
So
One of the plays, though, I thought he forced a fumble. The whole stadium thought he forced a fumble.
mhm.
They said it was an incomplete pass.
Interesting. Was he going forward? I don't really know what you're talking about.
So
Was he
it
going
was
forward?
Travis Etienne across the middle of the field, catches the ball, tucks it away
Uh-huh.
as he's turning. It was sort of like he caught it in front of him, like his back was to Tremaine. He catches the ball. He's like turning and tucking it into his right hand, and Tremaine knocks it out. Like
You know,
to me, I thought that was a football move. He's turning and tucking the ball, but apparently he didn't possess it long enough.
well, I'll
I don't
say the
know.
weird thing about the rules is it has to do with how far you move. I don't know how to describe that. So, like,
Mm.
obviously, if a player catches a ball and just stands there for 5 seconds, they have possession. But like, if you're in the act of catching a ball and it's knocked out before you take, like, I think it's like a step, maybe two, yeah, it can be argued that they don't have possession. But anyways, doesn't matter. I didn't really see that. Keenan Allen, he's done exactly what I wanted him to do from 2 weeks ago. He's been that surefire slot receiver
Mhm.
for Caleb that he knows that he can go to. He's always going to be running the routes. He very rarely drops it, right? He had his first ever fucking career drop.
In the
Um,
end zone.
yeah, what was it? Two weeks ago against the Rams in the end zone, or 3 weeks ago, what the fuck it was, doesn't matter. So he's been exactly what we were on. And this game he finally showed it. He's got 2 touchdowns, um, right, on 5 receptions, but only 41 yards. I don't say only, but you know what I mean. He's that guy that, second and short, third and mid. They
Third
can get
down.
it to him to get out. Yeah. So
He's
he's
the
been exactly.
number one wide receiver on third down for like number of first downs. He's got like almost 300 in his career,
Yeah, he's
and that
exactly.
helped.
Yeah, he's been exactly what I said. We've been missing, I guess, in this offense is a guy that it was like, you saw Caleb going through his progressions, but he, very rarely, in my opinion, in the first few games, really sought those like not necessarily checkdowns, but like like you were saying with the running backs, 2 5-yard passes is a first down every fucking time, right? You
Mhm.
don't need 1 20-yard pass. So he's been exactly
Mhm.
what this offense needed, just kind of like a surefire guy, and that also right frees up DJ Moore and Rome and also Cole Komet, right, to get out instead of having to worry about being that guy to run the safety route. So yeah, Keenan Allen, great game, 2 touchdowns, 41 yards on 5 receptions.
All
My
right,
pick.
moving on. The player of the game, our X factor. Look, it could have gone to a few players, Caleb Keenan, but I chose the man, the myth, the legend, Cole Komet. He had 5 catches for 70 yards on 5 targets with 2 touchdowns. Was the emergency long snapper in the game. Snapped it 6 times. He becomes just the first long snapper ever to win Special Teams Player of the Week, and it's our damn emergency long snapper,
Yeah, five
Cole
for five on
Kmet.
long snaps, baby. 5 for
Cole Kmet.
5.
I don't know if you have anybody different.
Uh, there's not much to go to. I'm just gonna go to Caleb, right? I was looking at the stats, and it's like, as much as I just want to give it to the whole damn defense, right? I want to give it to Gore, or excuse me, who got the interception? The dude
Blackwell.
that was filling in for, yeah. I want to give it to Blackwell, gets the interception, but Jones gets 10 tackles, 9 of them by himself. So
Hmm.
I want to say the X factor is our entire defense, but that's kind of what it's been the whole season for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and say Caleb. A game where even though you have an interception, right? Who gives a shit? A 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio is better than Tom Brady. I
Yep.
think Tom Brady is 3.16, I think, in his career. So people could sit here and squawk about the interception, but I don't care. 80%. Completion percentage, just about. I think it was 78, like you said. 226 yards, four touchdowns, 1 interception. Patrick Mahomes had a fucking parlay on him. Can't get 2 goddamn touchdowns. Those 2 interceptions. It's fucking bullshit. So Caleb Williams is better than Patrick Mahomes, confirmed. Caleb Williams, my X factor of the game. My X factor.
Moving on to our next and final segment, looking ahead a little bit.
This
Right
is a
now,
little outdated.
we were on the bye week, but
Also, in another parlay of mine, I had Jaden Daniels, 226 and a half yards over against Carolina. Derrick Henry rushing touchdown. And who was the last guy? Derrick Henry rushing touchdown. Oh, and Brees Hall rushing touchdown for like $57. He gets fucking hurt. And instead of the other 2 picks going through, which they did, Underdog just refunded me my fucking money, which is bullshit. I should have got a 2-player multiplier, but whatever. Fuck you guys. So could have made 50. I got my $10 back. It was fucking bullshit. So um, he's getting what he fucking deserves. No, I'm kidding.
No-
He's been playing. He's been playing really well. So it's unfortunate to see him hurt in terms of like obviously, same with what's his face, Aiden Hutchinson, right? Even though he's in our division rival, would never want to see someone get hurt like that. So it's good for the Bears in some way, but at the same time, I'm not going to be like, fuck this guy. I mean, I guess I just said that, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
all in good fun, guys.
Yeah. So at the time of writing this, we were on the bye week, and basically moving on from that was the biggest game of Caleb's young career so far. The Williams versus Daniels, 1-2. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. It's I guess he was ruled. Daniels was ruled as doubtful for this week, but I just think they're throwing that out there to like maybe have the Bears downplay their game plan for Jaden.
Give him some Toradol. He'll be good.
Jeez, on his in his ribs. That's got to be
Per-
awful.
That'll be like fucking what's his face, Tyrod Taylor, bro. They're gonna puncture his lung.
Oh God,
Per-
remember that?
Yeah, I remember that shit. That's the only reason I think what Josh Allen started or something, right? Or it was something about the
Mm,
only reason who filled in for
no,
Tyrod
because
Taylor.
Peterman was started before Josh Allen did because I was at a Bears game against Buffalo in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Nathan Peterman threw four interceptions, and Josh Allen was sitting on the bench.
I don't know. It was something about if he hadn't punk. I don't know. I don't know. Some shit like that. All I know is maybe they need Perk Daniels out there,
Oh
and
jeez.
we'll see.
But key areas for improvement moving forward, we still have to show up our O line. Look, Caleb got sacked 3 times. Um, Nate Davis on the trade block question mark because Matt Pryor's come in and he's played really well. But they're going to be tested against an interior that is just dominant in Washington with Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Jonathan Allen, one of the best defensive tackles in the league. I would say there's only maybe 2 or 3 that are better. So we'll see. But anyways, that wraps it up for episode 18
18,
of the Den.
5,
We'll catch you in
10,
19.
15, 18.
We'll catch you in the next one, episode 19, our coverage of the Bears versus the Commanders. Thank you so much for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like button, subscribe, comment something, comment anything. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, if you're listening on Spotify, hit the subscribe over there. Catch you guys in episode
Yeah.
19.
Peace.